As soon as I understood Sorare, as soon as I fully got it, I've been excited about its potential. Its potential to change the way that we as fans from around the world enjoy the game. Its potential to hit that hotspot, to scratch that itch for unearthing a wonder kid, for following a cult hero, for backing an unsung hero, for picking up a second team that games like Football Manager, FIFA, Ultimate Team, FPL, these things have done an okay job of without ever really nailing it. And over the last 2 or 3 weeks, Sorare has absolutely exceeded any potential that I've ever given them credit for. And once a month, what I like to do is answer that eternal question. If I was to start Sorare today, what would I do? What would my advice be for anyone that's starting out in the game in their first couple of months or opening their account for the first time? And I can honestly say, for all the episodes of this series I've done, I've never ever been as excited to do one and really get into the weeds of what I think could be an amazing strategy to adopt for anyone that's still trying to find their way, no matter how long they've been playing the game for. With the announcement confirming the layout for the threshold payments for the remainder of the 22-23 season, with the confirmation in the announcement that we will have an iteration of the threshold even into next season, and the other detail in that announcement that they're looking to really kick on and enhance the money can't buy element, the money can't buy experiences and prizes from within the game that we've already seen the first glimpse into with Sorare ambassador Zinedine Zidane going to be playing five-a-side football with the top 5 people from the Global Cup. Sorare's other ambassadors do include Mbappe and Messi, so let's stay tuned and see what gets on there. But with all this excitement comes urgency, and with urgency comes errors. And whenever you're playing Sorare, particularly when you're buying cards and you're spending real money, we want to minimize errors as much as possible. So in the video today, I'll be giving you the lay of the land as I see it and what opportunities are out there for anyone to be had who's going looking for them at any point in the video today. If you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble and let's get stuck into it. First of all, to give you the kind of backdrop, the landscape to all this, okay? Sorare is global five-a-side fantasy football. And like I mentioned in the intro, it really scratches that itch that so many other games that I've spent so much of my life playing do an okay job of without ever really nailing it. One of the fantastic aspects about Sorare that I love is the kind of football manager element of it, where you could really go to any league in the world and really start your journey. You could honestly, like, there's teams in the Bundesliga 2 and La Liga 2. We've got some of the most rural and obscure teams in South America, all the way to Japan, Korea, and then the main divisions within Europe, and even some of the more obscure ones like the Austrian Bundesliga and Croatia, Norway, Denmark, these kind of places. Now, all the threshold stuff that's been confirmed is for tournaments with paid cards, so cards you need to buy for real money, but they're NFTs, so when it comes to like FIFA, if you've played Ultimate Team or anything like that, of course you'll know all the cards that you use in your team are as a card, you know, every player is a card. It's basically like that, but because it's an NFT, you actually own it. That's what the blockchain technology offers, is ownership of a digital item, and that's all we're really interested in when it comes to this stuff. And then of course there's that FPL fantasy football team element of, you know, the fixtures and you're picking a captain because you know he's in good form, all that kind of stuff. So those basic elements, okay, are what really feed into the thresholds for me, because when you're starting off at any level, whether you're limiteds, getting started, rares, super rares, whatever it is, you're always going to be starting from a different position to anyone else. You could be picking up players from Europe, you could be picking up players from North America, South America, whatever. If you are yet to open your account yet, you'll actually get a free card once you've bought 5 off the primary market, off the auction houses. If you open your account by hitting the link in the description of the video, it goes directly to support the channel here, of course, and I thank you in advance if you do so. If you get stuck, if you get any questions, just drop me a comment and I'll come in there and I'll help you out. Those 3 main pillars, because that's what makes Sorare amazing and that's what makes Sorare special. Now, when you take those 3 pillars, you keep them at the front of your mind, and then you lay across that, again, what we're chatting about in the intro with the money can't buy experience that you have access to, as well as the thresholds that we now have access to, and the amounts and the payout conditions are guaranteed at the moment until July next year. Then we're at the very beginning of 2 amazing things happen. Number 1, what you're going to find, particularly for people like me that can play in the rare and the super rare division, is that if you are able to yield this Ethereum out of the game, it offers you so many opportunities as a football fan, whether it is getting the cards that you like, or whether it is like real world stuff. Like if you're able to pull out rare thresholds like 6 or 7 times a week, if you do that for half a season, for most people, depending on who you support, you could buy a season ticket for your own team from buying the cards and playing with them. If you've got super rare cards, you know, you could go to away games or something like that. You know, like the money that is available from within this game, like if you're going to use it on platform, fantastic. But equally, the stuff you can do with it off platform is incredibly powerful. And I think over this year, as these payments go out and as people start to really utilize it for that aspect of the game, it's going to be absolutely massive. The second thing that's really going to kick off with all of this as well is every current Sorare manager at the moment, including me, is on the whiteboard, is in the notepad, is in the lineup builder on Sorare data, and we are all trying to readjust and reassess and reprioritize where do the best cards go, what are the divisions to tackle, what do I have too much of, and what do I not have enough of. Now, if you're brand new or you're in your first like little while, maybe your gallery's quite well set and you're in that position, because I get these messages all the time of, Quinny, I don't know what to do next. I feel quite comfortable with what I've got there now. I've got a wee limited team doing this, or I've built a wee threshold team, or, you know, whatever's going on. What do I do now? Or should I do this or should I do that? That's the thing that comes to me the most. And if you're in that position, then right now, what is going to happen for the current Sorare managers, particularly the ones that dominate the leaderboards, is there is going to be this real tidal shift of reprioritization and redeployment of high-powered SO5 players. And when that happens, I've had great joy from this in the past. Like, again, like if you talk to Laird and John and some of these guys, like when we were doing content like a year and a bit ago, I was going mad for All-Star Rare Pro, and I was entering like good teams in there and finishing top 20 all the time because nobody else was entering an All-Star Pro. And then eventually, you know, enough people watch the content to catch on to these things. But those opportunities will come back again. There will be, I suspect, more than one, but there will be a couple of divisions in this new normal that we get from January 31st onwards, because people will be going for those capped thresholds. People will be going for those money can't buy experiences. That if you're a current Sorare player and you're trying to just get your way, find your way in the game and what you're going to optimize for and what you're going to prioritize against, then you will be able to, you know, one man's trash is going to be your treasure, you know, in a lot of different ways in this current situation. And if you're brand new starting out, if you do have, especially if you're finding this video when it goes out, because these thresholds change on January 31st. I'm making this video at the beginning of December. So if you're watching this before this happens, you've got a great run-up time to come in, play commons, play academies, whatever, learn the ropes and prep for that being like the day you start playing properly, you start taking it seriously, that kind of thing. The most important thing you can do right now is go onto Sorare data, make a watch list and call it Santa's list, right? And then over the next like 8 weeks, the guys you need to activate, whatever strategy you're going to identify, this is the most important time where the actual number one target, get your top priority target at each opportunity you can. This is the time where you don't settle for second best, you get the guy that you actually want. Because when we get into that kind of new period, if you are going to go and try and improve your scores in a current division that you're operating in, or make a better attempt at changing your tactics, your strategy, or whatever it might be, don't settle for number two. Or just wait another week or two, really, because the last time I felt like this about Sorare, after we signed on, or I say we, when Sorare signed on Real Madrid, PSG, Liverpool, etc., I really stretched myself and I really extended myself on Sorare, and I went and got extra super rares, extra goalkeepers, really went hard at it because I just believed in the platform so much. I won fantastically well on SO5 and was managed to trade a lot of those cards very successfully. This is not financial advice, okay, but if you do have a strategy laid out, get your number one targets, because trust me, if this does go the way I expect it to, then you'll be very glad that you maybe waited an extra week to get the goalkeeper you really wanted, rather than just getting the goalkeeper in for today, or the forward, or the defender, or whatever it may be. For me, I think All-Star Rare at the moment is probably going to be the division that will have that kind of sleeping prize pool, as it were. But like Sorare mentioned in that article, and like Dan said on Sorare, there's more to come. So by the time we get to the 31st of January, the 1st of February, I do suspect there will be more divisions getting rolled out, which means you'll have more potential for different strategies to be maximised and to be deployed. Which is why sticking to your number one priorities for the players that you actually like, the guy that you really believe in, the guy that you really back, is going to be more important, because some things might change between now and January in terms of new things might come on that might be even more exciting or even more attractive. And having the second best guy doesn't feel as good if things change ever so slightly, because number one, the second best on your list is probably the second or fourth or fifth or eighth best on someone else's list. Makes them a little bit harder to sell, and they're not quite as nice to hold on to. But if it's your number one guy and it's like, oh, it's the midfielder I've been wanting for 6 months, it's not perfect for this new division that's out, but it's still my guy, I still back him, then it's a wee bit easier to hold that. And then the last thing I would want you to really think about if you're starting Sorare today, or if you're, like I say, in your first couple of months, you're trying to find that way, that kind of strategy you can really lean into and maximize, is when we come to the next time that this gets updated on the 31st of July or whatever it was in the announcement, where do you want your club to be? Because that's a very important image to put into this part of the thinking. It's not just about getting the goalkeeper to hit the cap to 240 or to get the other striker so you can play under 23, but it's when you get to that point, where would you actually want to be? Would you want to be fully fledged competing at the top of a leaderboard or 4 leaderboards or across scarcities? Or do you want 1 good team? Do you want 10 good teams? Because up until that point, who knows what the thresholds will be thereafter. I would only expect them to be, you know, from the wording and the sentiment that's in the announcement, I don't expect them to change too much unless it is like wildly egregious on either side of it. You know, it's like really difficult to achieve from our end, or for them, it's just money hemorrhaging, like really like in a negative way. But I think they've done a lot of research and you know, put a lot of good sentiment into this, and I think they've made an attempt to make these the figures that they probably won't deviate away from too much. You know, like Sorare take quite a long time to implement things, and normally when they do, they don't like to do much more than tweak and enhance. You know, they really don't ever go all the way back to the drawing board with most things. So I think for where we're at is a good kind of baseline. But like I said, beyond July, you can't guarantee anything. So come that point, where would you want your team to be? And imagining you're back in this situation of waiting for another announcement. With the highly anticipated addition of the English Premier League over the next couple of weeks as well, we do expect the prize pools to go up in quality for under 23 and for Champion Euro as well. So again, equally, because some of these divisions are quite expensive and quite premium, maybe some people will be moving some of these cards on to get into cap 240, to consolidate into rare, to maybe extend and then go up into super rare with challenger cards or something, for example. And again, if you fancy going into those divisions, maybe there'll be another one man's trash is another man's treasure kind of thing on the go. One of the things I love about doing these videos once a month is really hearing back from you guys, because as I go through this video, there'll probably be light bulbs going off in your mind like, oh, this is a great idea, or that kind of ties into something I was thinking. And I love reading those comments, and we always get a great chat off the back of it. So I look forward to reading them in the comment section of the video. If at any point you did laugh, learn, or like something, I don't know, then I hope you did like the video already and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, on screen there now is some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.